On AM Extra, a local family is raising awareness about a medical condition many Americans likely have not heard about. It's called Moyamoya Disease. It's a rare blood vessel disorder which could lead to headaches, seizures, even a stroke.
We first shared Michelle Rzuski's story a few years ago on our sister station Coin 6. The local mother suffering a severe stroke in June of 2017 due to undiagnosed Moyamoya disease. Michelle and her husband Brett wrote a book detailing her medical and spiritual journey in the years since, and now Michelle has been nominated for a national honor in her efforts to raise awareness. Michelle and Brett joining us this morning with more on their story and the mission behind their campaign. Good morning. Thank you both for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us. Appreciate your time.
Absolutely. You know, before we had heard Michelle's story, here at work, I had not heard about Moyamoya disease. So what exactly is it? And Michelle, how were you diagnosed?
I think she'll take part of that question for me. So Moyamoya disease, it's a rare condition that you're born with. Actually, it's more predominant in Asian women, and Michelle is a quarter Japanese. And so what happens is over time, the blood vessels in the brain become narrowed, which prevents adequate blood and oxygen supply. So because the brain is so smart, it knows that, so it grows superficial arteries. They're really close to the surface, and they're weak. So Michelle was actually 6 weeks pregnant when she had the stroke. And we believe that because of the increased blood supply due to just being pregnant, and the blood vessels ruptured. So the weak arteries, that's what they do. They rupture if they're not caught. And the stroke actually led to Michelle being paralyzed on the left side, unable to walk. I'm her caregiver. And so do you want to take it from there?
What was your experience like, Michelle? You know, of course, you didn't see this coming in any way. What was this experience like as you began to recover from your stroke?
It's been discouraging because this could have been prevented.
Yeah, I know you both had been to the doctor previously, right? You had complained of headaches that stopped you in your tracks, and so I'm sure that has really fueled this awareness campaign for you and wanting to share this message. What made you want to write a book about this whole ordeal?
I think because our story is really, I think it's inspiring, and just a lot of things happened that day that made it a great story, I think, for people to read.
Yeah. Your book is called Hope Undeferred, Finding Light While in the Tunnel. Tell us a little bit about the title that you chose.
So there were a lot of titles that we were kind of tossing around, but I was reading the Bible and I came across, I think it's Proverbs 13:12, where it says, hope deferred makes the heart grow sick, but desire fulfilled is a tree of life. So then I was like, okay, well, what is the opposite of hope deferred? Hope undeferred. And the hope that we have is in Jesus. And if it weren't through him and weren't through our church, I don't know where we would be. So, but we wanted to, when Michelle had her stroke, all the doctors were coming to me and they were saying that her outcome of survival is grim. That was the word. They kept on tossing back and forth.
Wow.
And there was a lot of suffering. We actually had to make the decision on the baby, because she was only 6 weeks pregnant, not a viable pregnancy. So they told us that if we had kept the baby, there was a chance that she could have had another stroke and die. And we have 3 boys at home. At the time of the stroke, they were 9, 5, and 2.
One of your boys even making the 911 call to save your life. I know that was kind of the initial headlines that your story first made. And to your point, Michelle, it's so disheartening to think back and think, gosh, all of these symptoms that were hard to connect the dots at the time, and here we are now. So that is such an important message that you are, putting out there in the hopes of giving somebody else answers.
Absolutely. And I do want to highlight too, Michelle, you've been nominated for the American Heart Association and the American Stroke Association's Women of Impact campaign. Again, you've taken your story and really flipped it on its head, trying to raise awareness, trying to make a difference. What has that journey been like to you? How important is it to you to raise awareness of this?
It's important because I have struggled my whole life being undiagnosed, and I've actually met 2 people so far before this interview that have been undiagnosed for certain conditions, and so we kind of connected on those terms and had conversations, but there's so many people undiagnosed with important things.
Absolutely. Well, and Brett, real quickly, how can folks support this campaign? Because we do want to send this message far and wide.
Absolutely.
So if you go to hopeundeferred.com, there's a link to actually where you can purchase our book, and also I have a link there where they can go and directly just donate towards the campaign.
Okay.
So that's like in support by donating and helping us get the word out.
Yeah, well, hopefully this helps at least a little bit in that cause. Brett and Michelle, we so appreciate your time. Good luck as we continue to try to raise awareness of Moyamoya disease.
Yeah, your strength and your bravery are truly so inspiring.
Very, very special.
We want to share this story, so if you want to learn more about Moyamoya disease and how you can support Brett and Michelle's campaign, if you want to find more about their new book, all of that information is for you on KOIN.com. AM Extra coming back with much more right after this.